As a DCF defense attorney in Massachusetts, whenever a parent is being involved with DCF, the first thing I do is I get a release from the client and I send it to DCF. With that release, I'm asking DCF to call me and read me the allegations, which is your right under the due process clause, which is for fairness. Fairness, which everyone should get. You should be treated equitably and fairly and justly. But I will tell you right now that some DCF people don't want to do that. They want to blindside you. They want to hit you without you being able to see you. And that's just beyond wrong. You deserve to know what the allegations are against you, your family, and your children. There is so much at stake here. There is so much that can go wrong. And not being prepared, to me, is unconscionable. But that's exactly the position some of these DCF investigators want to put you in. Once you have the allegations from DCF, then you must prepare. What's right, what's wrong, and how do we disprove with reliable evidence and prove our case with reliable evidence, such as pediatric records and school records and therapy, as well as things that are probably Captain Obvious, like they're saying that the child didn't go to school, get the attendance and the grades. Or they say the child didn't go to therapy, get the therapist to write a letter. Or if they say that the child's not up to date medically, get the medical records. Or when they say this, that, and everything else, which is easily disprovable, and sometimes not so disprovable. When they say you were in a certain location, yet you got plane tickets that you were in San Diego on that day. Or in Ireland, which I had a client who was in Ireland watching the BC Notre Dame football game a few years back. And it was alleged that this person was in Massachusetts. Not happening. And we proved that, not only with the plane tickets and the hotel reservations, but also his passport. It was ridiculous, and it was bogus, baseless, false allegations. But DCF doesn't know that. So what you know and you think is stupid, and it probably is, they don't, because they don't have the access to that information. Therefore, you must get the reliable evidence to corroborate your story and disprove theirs. For example, I had a client that was claimed to have done drugs, had them do a hair follicle. It went back 3 months. It was clean. There was nothing there. Say goodbye to DCF, and they were more than happy to dismiss the case and have it unsupported, because that was the right thing. Somebody made a bogus, baseless, false allegations. Happens every day of the week, unfortunately. But you're a friend of duty as a parent to protect you, your children, your livelihood, your job, your reputation, is disprove this stuff with reliable evidence over and over again. It can't be more important. It can't be discussed any further with more demonstrative than you got to get reliable evidence. Sometimes DCF has procedural errors. They don't follow their own regulations, their policies and procedures. Sometimes they also don't follow how many days they're supposed to do a certain thing within a certain time frame. Sometimes they don't go and speak to collaterals they should speak to. And these are issues you bring up and show that they were wrong. And they should have done that and didn't do that. As a parent, you're entitled to counsel, a barrister, an attorney, esquire, a lawyer at any time. And I hear DCF say to parents, well, if you didn't do anything wrong, why do you need a lawyer for? And you look them right in the kiss and you tell them, if that's the case, then why do you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lawyers who terminate parental rights in courts all the time if you don't need a lawyer? And if you don't think to consult with these lawyers, I got something coming to you. Don't be outwitted or outsmarted. Get yourself what you need, because that person can guide you and guide you at the home visits, the investigation, the 51A stage where it could perhaps be screened out, during if it supported a fair hearing, or if God forbid they take your children to be able to help you with that first hearing, the 72-hour hearing, to hopefully get your children back. And you must understand the policies, procedures, and protocols. You don't have an idea about them. You don't know the time standards, which are huge. to know when to do or what to do or how to do it. You also don't know the laws, the statute, the regulation. That's not your fault. You're a layperson. But do not rely upon a social worker because they're not a lawyer. They're not a esquire or a counsel, or barrister, or attorney either. And I hear clients all the time, well, my social worker said, and I want to gag. Well-intentioned, well-meaning, I'm sure, the social worker. They're not a lawyer. So what I tell you, get yourself a lawyer. Do not listen to DCF. They're not your representative. And ignorance of the law, and I see it all the time, where someone says, well, I relied on DCF. They don't know what they're talking about. Especially the social workers for the most part. And again, they're well-intentioned, well-meaning. They mean well. But they're not a lawyer. Good luck. Now, if this video helped you, and you know someone that could benefit from this and you love them, share this with them. Please help each other.